हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम् शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरम् भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेयोपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ॐ Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. We shall chant the mantras of the 12th section. Negrodha Falamata Ahared Idam Bhagava iti Bhinditi Bhinnam Bhagava iti Kimatra Pashyasi iti Anvya Imema Dhana Bhagava iti Asamangayakam Bhinditi Bhinna Bhagava iti Kimatra Pashyasi iti Na Kinchana Bhagava iti Tadam hovacha yam vai somya etamanimanam na nibhalayasa etasya vai somya esho nimna evam mahanyagrodhastishtati shraddhasva somya iti. Sayesho nima etadatmyam idam sarvam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo iti bhuya eva ma bhagavan vidnyapayatu iti tatha somyeti hovacha. So the teacher finally indicated to Shvetaketu that Tattvamasi, you are Brahma. So this is a beautiful Mahavakya which conveys the essential teachings of all the Upanishads. It is the very essence of the Vedas. Though it is conveyed in a very small sentence, Tattvamasi, to comprehend this is not very easy. Hence, there are so many Upanishads indicating this Mahavakya through various ways. So first the teacher pointed out that Brahma, the world which we see is actually Brahma alone appearing like this world. Though through our senses we don't see Brahma, but Brahma alone is appearing like this world. There is no difference between this world and Brahma. Not only what we see as this world is Brahma, but even the seer is Brahma. So I, the seer, am really Brahma. I, the knower of this world, am really Brahma. So who is this I who is knowing this world? See, one thing we have to understand, that the knower remains separate from all that is known. So when it is indicated, myself is indicated as a knower, a kshetrajna, then that kshetrajna is different from the kshetra, this world. And that difference I can experience very vividly, and also I can understand very vividly in deep sleep. In deep sleep, I get separated from this world. And when I contemplate on my deep sleep, one thing is very certain, that one who was in deep sleep and who is present now is same entity. So I recognize the deep sleeper as myself. Through contemplation and with the help of the Shastras, with the help of our teacher, When we contemplate on our deep sleep, we understand the deep sleeper as myself. That is the first step of our understanding. It is very important that we have to recognize ourselves first as the one who is separate from all these upadhis, who is separate from this world, the kshetrajna, that is myself. So I gain a samanya jnana, a general knowledge of my own existence. That is called samanya jnana, general knowledge of my own existence. And with the help of the scriptures, I gain Vishesh Jnana, a special knowledge of my own self. Just as when we see something in front of us, let us say a rope is there, but we don't recognize it because the light is not proper, it is little dark. So I get a general knowledge of that object. I say there is something there, but I don't know what it is. So something is there, that knowledge is what is called general knowledge. And when I look at it and I think that it is a snake, then that is a false knowledge. But when I look at it closely and I come to know that it is rope, then that is the right knowledge. Similarly, when I look at myself, I get a general knowledge that I exist. But when I don't see myself properly, then I consider myself as a knower, doer, enjoyer, a jiva who is born and who will die. That is a false knowledge about myself. And this false knowledge about myself gives rise to various sufferings, various sorrows. With the help of the Shastras, we gain the right knowledge that I am Brahma. The scriptures tell me that you are really Brahma. You are Brahma. That is the right knowledge. So this was indicated to Shvetaketu. Hey Shvetaketu, first the teacher indicated to Shvetaketu his real self, which is found in the deep sleep, free from all upadhis, but which is present even now. That is what you really are. You should know that as yourself. And thereafter, the teacher points out to that self and says that you are Brahma, Tat Tvamasi, that which is very subtle, that which is the self of all, that which is Satyam, that which is the self, that you are. So this is a very, very stunning revelation which the scriptures reveal, and we find it very difficult, tough to understand this. Like all of you are listening, but still something remains, some doubt remains, even after conveying the truth again and again we hold on to the false notion. So Shvetaketu also, when he heard this, he had doubts that how can I be that Sat Brahma, and you say that I am that Sat Brahma free from all upadhis in deep sleep. So how I don't understand that when I am in deep sleep? that, oh, I am this Sat Brahman. Why don't I recognize this? Then teacher explains why we don't recognize it. Then again Shvetaketu said that, okay, when we wake up, at least we should know that I have been one with that Sat, and now I am that Sat alone, but along with my upadhis. Why don't I know this now? Again, the teacher explained with the help of the example of the rivers in the ocean. Then again, Shvetaketu had a doubt that how come if I have become one with Sat Brahma in deep sleep, why do I wake up again? Why this identification with this body, etc., happens? Why don't I totally merge in that Sat and never to be born again, never to wake up in this body again? So again, the teacher explained that though you have become one with Sat in deep sleep, in death, during pralaya, but the potentially actually the our karmas, our vasanas are not exhausted, not eliminated. The vidya is not eliminated. Therefore, the jiva is potentially still there. That separate entity is still there, who is born again. So, with the death of the physical body, I don't die. I continue to exist. Means I, along with my Sukshma Sharir, continue to exist even with death. So that teacher explained with the help of the example of the tree. So after listening to this, again, the Shvetaketu had this question that, okay, I have become one with Sat in deep sleep, and from that Sat alone, everything has come, everything has emerged. But how can I understand this? Because that Sat is so subtle, and this world which we experience is gross, our body is gross. So, how from that subtle Sat this world has come into existence? Again, the teacher explains with the help of this example of the seed. So, he tells Shvetaketu that you bring the fruit of this banyan tree. Then he brings it. Then he says, okay, open it. Then he opens it. And he asks him, what do you see? He sees a lot of seeds in that fruit. Then he says, okay, pick up one seed and open it. Cut it open. So he cut it, and then the teacher asks, what do you see? And he says, I don't see anything. It's just a plain homogeneous seed. I don't see any differentiation of any kind. I don't see anything. Then the teacher says that which you don't see, that which is extremely subtle, from that alone this whole tree has come. The whole vast, huge tree which you see is expression of that seed alone. Similarly, the vast physical world which we see and our gross physical body as well as the bodies of all the beings are all expression of that Sat Brahma alone, in which there is no differentiation, but from that alone, which is extremely subtle, but from that alone, everything has come into existence. See, we have seen in the previous sections also that how from that Sat alone, the from its Shakti, the Panchatan Matras, the entire physical world as well as the bodies of all the beings are born. And from that samskar which is present, that samskar of all these beings get expressed in their respective sukshma sharires. So this is the grand, wonderful expression of that Sat Brahma alone. There is nothing false, there is nothing untrue, there is nothing unreal. The world is not unreal, but the world is miraculous. World is wonderful. Great Ashcharya. That from that which is unseen, unknown, homogeneous, Sat, from that Sat alone, this multiplicity has come into existence. This we find it extremely difficult to comprehend. The world has not come from non-existence. The world is not an expression of non-existence. The world is expression of existence, that Sat alone. World is not mithya. Mithya means illusion. World is not an illusion. Illusion means that which doesn't exist. World is not an illusion. World is not something which doesn't exist. World exists, and it is the expression of that Sat Brahma. And as an expression, it constantly undergoes change also. So this is very clearly expressed in this Upanishad and other Upanishads also. See, many people, they study Vedanta through the Prakarana Granthas like Tattva Bodh, etc. And they don't, these Prakarana Granthas don't convey the message of the Upanishads properly. There are some discrepancies, some differences are there. But when we study this Prakarana Grantha in the beginning, we form strong opinion about what Vedanta conveys, and which gets stuck into our mind. Thereafter, even when we study the Upanishads or the Bhagavad Gita or Brahma Sutra, we hold on to the ideas which we had acquired through Tattva Bodh. So we cannot comprehend Vedanta through Tattva Bodh. We have to comprehend it with the help of the Upanishads. And the Upanishads can be understood only when we study Adi Shankaracharya's Bhashya completely and accept it completely and focus our attention on it only. Because here we see in this Upanishad so very clearly it is mentioned. Nowhere the Upanishad talks about the world as mithya. Everywhere it talks about the world as expression of Brahma. So I am there, Jiva, this world is there, and that Brahma is there. As the cause of this world, that Brahma is also indicated as Ishvara. So Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara are existing. All three are there. Many people, in order to arrive at the understanding of Advaita, they try to negate the world and negate Ishvara as mithya. Because when world is negated as mithya, automatically Ishvara also becomes mithya, because Ishvara is Ishvara of this world. If the world itself is negated as false, then Ishvara also becomes false. So many, out of their misunderstanding, try to understand Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, by negating Jagat and Ishvara as false. And I am true. And Jeev and the Jagat and Ishvara are false. So out of three, if two are eliminated, one remains. That is their way of understanding Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. But that is wrong. In the Upanishad, they say that though these are three and all three are real, but they are actually three only from a particular standpoint. When we look at them, they appear three, but actually they are not three, they are one only. Jiva is not different from Jagat, Jagat is not different from Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara are one. That is the Vedanta which is indicated, which is taught in the Upanishads. Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara are one. Not that Jiva is real and others are false. All are real, but all are one, Brahma alone. So here, with the help of these various examples, the teacher conveys to the student that what you don't see, what is so subtle in this seed, that alone is expressing as this world, and that which is not seen, which is so subtle, saya eshaha anima, which is anima, which is extremely subtle. Etad atmyam idam sarvam, it is the atma of all. Tat satyam, and it is satyam, it is pure existence. Sa atma, and it is atma. It is expressing as the atma of all beings. And when we say atma, we are talking about that pratyek atma, the innermost atma. Atma means I, sense of I. So what do I experience as I, the innermost? At the outer level, I experience I as this body, the physical body. If you dive deeper, you will experience the subtle body as I. But if we dive even deeper, then that which is transcending the subtle body and still exist, that is the real I. That is called pratyek atma, which is what we experience in deep sleep, which is present even now. That tattvamasi, that I am Brahma. Tattvamasi Shvetaketu, that I am Brahma. So I have to understand myself as Brahma. First, we have to understand that myself is this Pratyekatma. Then we have to understand myself as this Pratyekatma, I as Brahma. And we have to gain abidance in this understanding. So that is the path. First, hear that you are Brahma, then understand you are Brahma, and then experience that you are Brahma, Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasana. So here the teacher indicated to Shvetaketu again that Tattvamasi Shvetaketu iti bhuya eva ma Bhagwan Vidnyapayatu. But then Shvetaketu again had a doubt. And the thing is that if we have even a little bit of doubt, we cannot meditate. Meditation and doubt cannot go together. Meditation means nididhyasan is possible only when we become totally free of all doubts. Upasana and other sadhana we can do when we are ignorant and we have some doubts also. But nididhyasan can be pursued only when we have total conviction that I am Brahma, free from all doubts. Free from all doubts. Then we can follow the path of nididhyasan or jnana-nishtha. In Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, Bhagavan indicates this path in detail about how we can gain that jnana-nishtha and become sthita prajna. So here Shvetaketu understood a lot, but then still he had this one doubt. Therefore he requested his father, who was his teacher, कि भूय एव मा भगवान विज्ञापयतु. Please teach me again. Iti tatha somya iti. Then the teacher says, okay, I will teach you. The teacher had total, complete compassion and patience and he teaches giving different examples. So what is the doubt in Shvetaketu's mind? Because it is not mentioned in the mantra, but that is revealed in Shankaracharyaji's bhashya. So Shankaracharyaji writes, कि यदि सत् जगतः मूलम कस्मात् न उपलभ्यते इति. If you say that Sat, Brahma, is the very root of this world, root means from where the whole world has come into existence in stages. Just like if you sow a seed in the soil, it grows in stages. If you put seed in the soil, next day you will not see a huge tree. It comes in stages. Similarly, this world has come in a particular stage, a particular sequence that we have seen in the beginning of this Upanishad, of this chapter. That how this Panchikaranam and Trivritkaranam, and how from Hiranyagarbha, Vaishvanara, all the Devatas, and all, how the whole world has come into existence. And the mool, the very source of this is that Sat Brahma, which was indicated that Sadeva Saumya Idamagrasi, that in the beginning only Sat alone was there, nothing else was there. So everything has come from Sat. So if everything has come from Sat, and that Sat is present even now, the Sat is present in the world, in ourselves, because everything has come from Sat only. Just as when I say that this pot has come from clay, it means the clay is present now. The clay has not disappeared. The clay itself is appearing like the pot. So even when it appears like the pot, the clay is present. Similarly, if that Sat Brahma alone is expressing as this world, then that Brahma is present in this world. In everything, Brahma is present. In the world, Brahma is present. In me, Brahma is present. So, the question is, कि kasmat na upalabhyate iti, that why it is not available. Why that Brahma is not available to our various pramans? Why we don't know that Brahma? If Brahma is present, then we should be able to see it, we should be able to hear it. Just as this pot, we say clay is present, so when I touch it, I touch the clay, I can smell the clay, I can taste the clay, I can hear the clay. So, then we say, yes, the clay itself is the pot. Similarly, if that Sat Brahma alone is the world, then I should be able to see, hear, taste, touch that Brahma. I should be able to comprehend that Brahma with the mind, with the intellect. But whatever I see is constantly changing. And Brahma is Sat, which doesn't change. Whatever I hear is constantly changing. But Brahma is Sat, it doesn't change. So, where is it hidden? If Brahma is present in this world, then where is it? Why is it not available? Why it is playing this hide and seek? So, kasmat na upalabhyate iti. Why it is not available for our praman? See, we see the world through our pratyaksha praman, through our senses. And what cannot be seen directly, we can understand indirectly also through anuman, through upaman, through arthapatti. But with all these four pramans, pratyaksha, upaman, arthapatti, anuman, we don't see that Brahma. Even the Shastras say that with this praman you cannot comprehend that Brahma. So then, that is very difficult. So, why it is not available? It should be available because that is the proof. If I show you some ornament and say that it is made from gold, then that gold should be available now. And when I comprehend that gold, I will be convinced that yes, this ornament is made up of gold. Or if some laddu is there and somebody says that it is sweet, I have put sugar in it, then it should be available for my taste. So similarly, this world which we experience, if Brahma is present, then why it is not available? Kasmad na upalabhyate. What is the problem? Why it is not available? That you please tell me. Iti etad drishtantena ma bhagavan bhuya eva vijnapayatu iti. You explain this to me with the help of an example so that it becomes clear to me why it is not available. Tatha somya iti hovacha pita. Then the father says, okay, I will tell you, teach you. And thus now begins the 13th section. So let us chant the first mantra. लवणम् एतद् उदके अवधाय अथ मा प्रातः उपसीदथा इति सः तथा चकार तगम होवाच यद्दोषा लवणम् उदके अवाधा अंग तद् आहरेति तद्धावमृश्य tadha avamrishya na viveda. Again, see, this whole Upanishad is in the prose form. Many other Upanishads are poetic, but this Upanishad is in prose form. Again, we'll chant this mantra. Lavanam etar udake avadhayath ma prataho upasidatha iti सह तथा चकार तगम होवाच यद्दोषा लवणम उदके अवाधा अंग तदाहरेति तद्धावमृश्य न विवेद. Shankaracharya ji writes in his bhashya कि विद्यमानमपि वस्तु न उपलभ्यते प्रकारांतरेण तु उपलभ्यते इति शृण्वन् न दृष्टान्तं शृण्वत्र दृष्टान्तं यदि च इमम् अर्थं प्रत्यक्षीकर्तुम् इच्छसि. Shankaracharya ji, before this mantra, he writes कि विद्यमानमपि वस्तु न उपलभ्यते. If an object is there, is present, and if it is not available, then if suppose something is present and it is not available to our praman, to one particular praman, then we use another praman to comprehend it. See, we have this, in order to know this world, we have 4 types of praman. It's called pratyaksha, anuman, upaman, and arthapatti. 4 main pramans are there. Pratyaksha means direct through our senses. So we have this 5 pratyaksha praman, means eyes, ears, skin, eyes, tongue, nose. With the help of this pramana, we come to know the shabda sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. So we come to know this world, which is we come to gain knowledge of shabda sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell. But there are certain things which we cannot see directly. So the knowledge of those things also we gain indirectly through inference. Like the famous example, if we see smoke on the mountain, then I infer that there must be fire on the mountain. Though I am not seeing fire directly, I am only seeing smoke, but I infer that there must be fire. So how can I infer that which I don't see? I infer because I have seen smoke and fire together. And I know that wherever there is smoke, there must be fire. This knowledge I have. So when I see smoke, I gain the knowledge that there must be fire. That's called inference. That is also a beautiful praman by which we gain knowledge of a lot of things of this world. Then there is what is called upamanam. Upamanam means through comparison. We gain knowledge through comparison. Suppose I have some object and I know it, and I see similar object there, then I can compare and I say that object also must be like this only. Like for example, they study the other planets and all, and what type of atmosphere they might be having, what type of gases they are having. Like some planets are so far away, We have the Mercury, Venus, then Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and all. They are very far away. But from here, from Earth, through telescopes and different instruments, they study the outer atmosphere of these planets. They pass it through various prisms, etc., and they study. And from that, they come to know what type of gases there might be on their planet. Because they show similar trend, they have studied the gases here on Earth, and if they see something similar there, then they come to know that that must be present in that planet also. That's called Upama. And it happened with me also when I knew one of my students. And she said that if you are going to that Bangalore city, my sister stays there, who will come to meet you. So I said, how will I recognize? She said, she looks exactly like me. So I went to that city, and one lady came to do namaskar, and as soon as I saw her, immediately I recognized she must be the sister of my student. Though she is not the student, but I recognize her as the sister because there was this similarity. So we gain knowledge through the understanding of similarity. That's called upama. And we also gain knowledge through arthapatti. Arthapatti is another praman, through assumptions, through presumptions. For example, I wake up in the morning and I see, oh, the whole place has become wet. My garden is wet, the roads are wet. Yesterday night when I went to sleep, it was all dry. But now when I wake up in the morning and see everything is looking wet, so I infer that it must have rained at night. Because if I come up with any other ideas, then there is objection to that idea. So I say that, oh, it must have rained. So similarly, we gain some knowledge by assuming something, and then we do experiment, and when we gain the conviction of that, confirmation with that experiment, we say that yes, that is that thing, that is the knowledge. Anyway, so we have this 4 praman to know anything of this world. This is used in the field of science also, in all fields. So, pratyaksha, anuman, upaman, and arthapatti. Now, the interesting thing is that when we use these pramans to know that Brahma, we cannot know Brahma. With pratyaksha, we cannot know Brahma. With anuman, we cannot know Brahma. With upaman, we cannot know Brahma. With arthapatti, we cannot know Brahma. See, all these other pramans also depends on pratyaksha praman. Even anuman, if we see the smoke and we infer fire, it will get confirmed only when we go there and actually see that fire. So most of the worldly pramans are based on pratyaksha praman only. And through this pratyaksha praman, we cannot know Brahma. We cannot gain the knowledge of Brahma. That is very clear. Also, hence we cannot understand the connection between the world and Brahma, because Brahma is not known. Therefore, we do not understand that this world has come from that Brahma. Somebody is asking Upaman and Arthapatti, the difference. Upaman means comparison. I know something which is similar. Suppose somebody says that, oh, you want to know zebra? You have seen a donkey. So if you go to the forest, there is an animal which looks like a donkey only, but it has got stripes. So if I see an animal looking like a donkey with stripes, I know that I gain the knowledge that it is zebra. That is Upamanam. Arthapatti is also another type of praman, wherein we assume something, we have certain hypothesis, and then through experimentation we prove. If it gets proven that it is true, then we gain that knowledge. Sometimes it gets proven that it is false. For example, when it rains, the trees they shake. Every time it rains, the trees they move. So after seeing the trees moving, suppose you just see the trees moving, you infer that it will rain now. But then sometimes it doesn't rain. So my inference that the movement of the trees causes rain is false. It is not proved right. But when through experimentation my assumption is proved right, then I gain the knowledge of that thing. I'm not going into detail about all this praman, but these 4 types of pramans are there through which we gain knowledge of the world. But these 4-fold pramans, which are all ultimately based on the pratyaksha praman, they fail to give knowledge of Brahma. But that doesn't mean we cannot gain knowledge of Brahma. There is one more praman, which is totally different from all these 4, which can reveal the nature of that Brahma. And precisely to indicate that this 5th praman, this section begins. And here the teacher tells his student to do an experiment. So he says that, okay, you do one thing. Pinda rupam lavanam etat ghatadau udake avadhaya prakshipya. The teacher gives him a lump of salt, some rock salt or something. He gives that to his student, to his son, and he says, you put this into a vessel of water in some pot of water. You put this lump of salt. So pinda rupam lavanam etat ghatadau udake avadhaya prakshipya athama mam shwa pratah upasid. And in the morning you come to me. This he gave in the evening. He said, you put this in the pot of water, this salt, and you come to me in the morning. Pratah upasid atha upagachet tha iti. सह पित्र uktam artham pratyakshīkartum icchan tatha chakara. So when the teacher gave him this command, the student did exactly like that. He took the lump of salt and he put that into that pot of water. And then next day he approached his teacher. So tam hovacha paretyuhu pratah yal lavanam dosha ratra udake avadha nikshipta nikshiptavan nikshiptavanasya nikshiptavanasi angahe vatsa tad ahareti uktah. So that when the student came in the morning, then the teacher told him that, oh my dear son, he vatsa, anga means oh son, I had given you the lump of salt at night in the evening yesterday, which you have put in the water. You bring that to me. Bring that salt to me. So tad ahareti uktah tal lavanam ajihi shuhu ha kila avamrushya udake na viveda na vidnyatavam. Then the student looked for that salt in that water. He must have put some spoon and all and searched for that water, this salt everywhere. But he could not find that lump of salt in water. Yatha tal lavanam vidyamanam eva sat apsu linam sanslishtam abhut. Though the salt was present in the water, but it had become one with water and it was not available now. See, the salt was available for the eyes before it was put in the water. It was available for the eyes, either the praman, pratyaksha praman. The salt was available to touch also. One can touch that salt and see it like a nice crystal. So the salt was available for touch and the salt was available for sight. But now it had become one with the waters, so it was not available for touch. Everywhere, wherever it was, he tried to find that salt, he could not find it. And it was not available for sight also. But that doesn't mean the salt was not there. The salt was present there. So since the salt was present but was not available for the sense of sight and touch, the teacher then reveals that it can be understood with some other praman. So what other praman helped the student to recognize that there is salt? Similarly, the world we see and with our senses, with this praman, pratyaksha, anuman, upaman, arthapatti, though Brahma is present in this world, but it is not available for this praman. But that doesn't mean Brahma is not present. Brahma is there. And that Brahma is available by some other Praman. So what other Praman help me to recognize that Brahma? And what further experiment the teacher did to make the student realize that though the salt was not seen or not cannot be touched, but still it is present and he got confirmed through other praman. That we will see in our class on Friday. It's a bit suspense, but if you have the book, you can read also. So that we will see in our class on Friday. Till then, you take care. Be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana. Contemplate on this, what you have heard. Listen to the pravachan again. Think about it, because this is the sar. Don't expect that, oh, I will study something else to understand. This is conveying so clearly, so vividly in this chapter. So listen to this pravachan again, think about it, and we will meet again on Friday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Siyavar Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.